Port Harcourt, the city that never sleeps, loud, oily, and full of dreams that often turn to dust. For Amaka, it had been the city of her biggest mistake and her deepest heartbreak. 5 years ago, she was just 19, bright eyed, with laughter that sounded like church bells on a Sunday morning. She had fallen in love with Ebuka, a mechanic apprentice who swore he would marry her once he opened his own shop. But Ebuka disappeared faster than a power supply during a thunderstorm the moment she told him, "I am pregnant." Her parents, they didn't want disgrace. The moment her belly began to show, they packed her bags and threw her out, alone, hungry and pregnant. That was when Dr. Bassi came into her life, like an angel of mercy, a respected private doctor with a quiet voice and kind eyes. He told her he had lost his wife years ago and understood pain. He gave her a room in his boys' quarters, fed her, and took care of her. Amaka thought maybe God hadn't forgotten her after all. But she did not know that not all angels come from heaven. Some crawl out of hell. When her water broke one stormy night, she screamed through the labor like her soul was being ripped from her chest. And when it was over, Dr. Bassi came to her bedside, eyes somber, and said softly, "I am sorry, Amaka. Your baby didn't make it." The world tilted. Everything froze. She felt her heart drop into an abyss. And then she moved on, or tried to. Now, Amaka was 24, working as a waitress in a small buka, local restaurant, at Rumola, still scared but stronger. Life had forced her to grow thick skin, and she grew it fast. One Saturday morning, as rain drizzled lightly and the generator buzzed beside her apartment window, she heard a knock. Not loud, not urgent, just steady. She opened the door. Her heart stopped. It was Dr. Bassi, older, paler, broken. "Amaka, please, I need to talk to you." She almost slammed the door in his face. But something in his eyes, something hollow and desperate, made her pause. They sat opposite each other. Silence. Then silence. But thick. Then he began. "I lied to you years ago, Amaka. Your baby did not pass. I gave him away. I was part of something terrible." Amaka blinked. Her mind refused to compute the words. 5 years ago, I was in debt. I had just lost my license. A man, rich, desperate for a child, paid me to deliver a baby. Your baby. "No," she whispered. Her hands shook. "You gave me a still child?" Please subscribe to this channel, turn on your notification bell, like, and comment. Thank you. He nodded, ashamed. It was from another woman, a stillbirth. "I switched them." "You buried a stranger's baby. Your son is alive." Thunder cracked outside, like heaven itself was roaring. "But why now?" she cried, her voice cracking like glass. "Because everything I built after that night was crumbled. My house caught fire, my clinic was shut down, my son ran away. I dreamt of you every night, crying. I had to find you. I had to make it right." Together, they traveled to Uyo, where the wealthy man had lived. But when they got there, the story had twisted again. The man, Chief Idongisit, had died of a heart attack just a year after receiving the baby. His wife, Madam Eka, was now a lonely woman living in a quiet mansion with marble floors and empty corridors. She opened the door, wearing a long dress in sadness. "He's mine," Amaka shouted before Bassi could speak. The old woman blinked. "Who are you?" Bassi stepped forward and confessed everything, every wicked deed, every lie. Eka sat down slowly, her eyes filled with tears. I didn't know, she whispered. He told me we adopted the child legally. I gave that child everything. He calls me mother. He loves me. Amaka's face turned angry. But the child is my son. Silence. Silence. Then chaos. The media got wind of it. Doctor sells baby for 2 million naira. Social workers, lawyers, pastors, neighbors, everybody had an opinion. Eka refused to let go. You gave him up. You buried the baby and moved on. I raised him, Eka said. Amaka screamed back. I was tricked. I was lied to. My womb carried him for 9 months. The boy, now 5 years old, his name Miracle, was caught in the middle, confused and scared. The courts were called. DNA was done. But the truth is not always enough. Basi begged both women to forgive him. He tried to broker peace. But some wounds go too deep. The courtroom was colder than usual, not because of the air conditioning, but because of the tension that draped the walls like cobwebs. Two women stood before the judge, one with blood ties, the other with 5 years of memories and lullabies. The courtroom clerk called the case, and the proceedings began. Dr. Bassi, the judge said, you are the reason we're all here. Start talking. And talk he did. With trembling lips and a voice weighed down by guilt, he laid everything bare. The debts, the greed, the deception. He confessed to selling Amaka's newborn child for 2 million naira to Chief Idongeset, who had used a forged adoption certificate. He revealed how he replaced Amaka's baby with a stillborn from another poor woman, and how he lied, not just to her, but to himself. Amaka wept openly. Even Eka wept also. The courtroom fell into a hush as the judge finally asked the question everyone had been thinking. Who deserves the child more? The woman who gave birth to him in pain, or the woman who raised him in love? That evening, outside the courtroom, reporters swarmed like bees, but Amaka wasn't speaking to anyone. Her heart was heavy. She did not know what to feel. She did not hate Madam Eka, not truly. The woman had been lied to as well, but still, that was her child. Later that night, back in her small apartment, Amaka stood in the darkness, staring at the tiny photo she had secretly taken of Miracle. His eyes, his lips, even his stubborn forehead. He's mine, she whispered. He's my blood. Then a knock came. It was Basi again. This time, with trembling hands, he handed Amaka a leather-bound file. These are the original records, everything. Birth papers, the DNA results, the document Chief used to fake the adoption. I kept copies. Maybe out of fear, maybe out of guilt. But they are yours now. Do whatever you must. Amaka took it, nodded, thanks. But you know you can't undo the evil you did. He nodded slowly, then said the words that surprised her most. I want to testify in your favor, Amaka. Whatever it cost me, I deserve to lose everything, but you deserve your child. Back in Iyo, chaos in the mansion. Meanwhile, in Chief Idongesit's mansion, the walls echoed with something deeper than silence. They echoed with fear. Miracle has started asking questions. Mom, who is that lady that keeps crying in court? Eka tried to brush it off. Just a stranger, ignore her. But Miracle was not easily fooled. She looks like me, Mom. She smells like me. Eka's heart broke a little more. She had always known this day will come, but not like this, not in public, not with cameras, and not with guilt eating her up like termites. The next day, she went into the child's room and said, My prince, you are loved always, no matter what happens. Mom, are you sending me away? Miracle asked. No, Eka whispered. But one day, you might go where you truly belong. Back in Port Harcourt, Amaka's world spun faster than she could control. Madam Eka's lawyer came with some cash and a checkbook. We can settle this privately, he said. Name your price. Amaka stood, her eyes like fire. I don't want money. I want my son. The day of the final hearing was set. The courthouse prepared for battle. Social workers brought in psychologists to assess Miracle, a child caught in the middle of an adult war. But Amaka, she was ready. And then, just 3 days before the judgment was to be delivered, Miracle went missing. Rain beat heavily on the city of Uyo. Thunder rumbled like ancestral voices crying for justice. And inside the police station, Amaka stood soaked and frantic. 3 days before the final verdict, the child vanished from Madam Eka's mansion. No break-in, no forced door, just an empty bed. And then a note was found, a note that was scribbled in childlike handwriting. I want to find the crying woman. I think she's my real mom. Amaka collapsed when she saw it. Panic spread fast. Social media lit up like Christmas tree. The rich widow's adopted child is missing. Is the birth mother responsible? Dr. Bassi linked to baby theft again? Even Bassi was arrested for questioning. But the man was weak now, both in body and soul. His eyes were hollow, and he muttered, I deserve this, like it was a mantra. Madam Eka, once calm and graceful, now roamed the streets of Uyo barefoot and crying, asking Okada riders, kiosk women, all vendors, have you seen my child? Please subscribe to this channel, turn on your notification bell, like, and comment. Thank you. But it was no longer just her child. It was Amaka's child too, and Miracle was caught in the middle. 3 days turned into 5 days. Then on the 6th day, a phone call came. A woman in a small village outside Ikot Abasi reported seeing a little boy wandering near a church compound, asking for a woman named Amaka. The priest had taken him in, but the boy refused to speak, only cried at night whispering, I want to go home, but I don't know where home is. Amaka drove in a taxi that barely had brakes, heart in her mouth. Madam Eka followed in her SUV. For the first time, both women were not rivals. They were mothers. They found him sitting on the steps of the old church holding a piece of bread. Miracle! Amaka shouted. The boy turned, paused, then ran to embrace both women as they knelt before him. Eka placed her hand gently on Amaka's. Let's raise him together. Even Dr. Bassi wept. The court banned him from ever practicing medicine again. But Amaka, in an act of grace, forgave him publicly. You stole from me, but you helped bring the truth to light. Let that be your punishment and your redemption.